everybody. This is Bill back for another edition of Billboard Comics and our sub channel, which I like to call Girlfriend's Guide to Comic Books. This is the guide for any significant other who wants to participate in the hobby of their boyfriend, girlfriend, mother, father, son, daughter, whoever. It's not just a girlfriend thing. This is not a sexist thing. Let's not go into that. Just want to make sure everybody knows about that. This is try to help everybody who wants to know more about comic books to know about them. What I'm going to be talking about today is talking about collecting comic books for investment purposes. Um, I've been up to this point. I've been mostly talking about collecting comic books for like for reading and just the art of collecting. I've been kind of like letting the world of uh, investment go, but people actually collect these comic books a lot for investments. Some people are just like trying to use that as their business. They're um, turning around, getting a whole bunch of comics for cheap and trying to sell them for a great profit. Others um, kind of like buy bulk lots or collections, get the stuff needed for their collections, and then use the rest. They sell the rest to help pay to keep their collecting going. There's some people who might think like just like doing that is a bad thing and not noble or not good. I'm not here to say that. I'm here to actually it's whatever you want to do. If you like to do that, do it. If you don't, then try not to criticize because uh, you know everybody has the right to collect their own way. Basically, like buying collecting comic books for investing purposes, it's the same thing as with any kind of economical status. The idea is to buy low and sell high. What does this mean? Well, this means you need to actually try to get the cheapest price for your comic books when you are buying them, so you could flip them for a greater profit. This means like finding key books in large collections, where you could just pay like a certain amount for a whole collection, where you get every book for like 10 cents on the dollar, which means if you get a key that's worth like say $200, you're making more profit on that, and you're making a profit all the way around. Whether you like you are kind of like to do this or not, like there's a danger to dealing with like this, buying collections like this and trying to chase after the keys and whatnot. Um, Sometimes when you buy collections like this, people have already sold the keys themselves to another person to get a profit for themselves. So if you're going there blindly, and certain things like certain eBay auctions and certain Facebook marketplace auctions are kind of, if you don't are even not able to go through every single book and see if the keys are in there, you might find yourself paying for a whole bunch of comic books that uh, you might have gotten a great deal on it, but you might not be able to resell them because you know yeah, you might have gotten that copy of say Turok #1 for 10 cents, but if nobody wants to buy it for even a dollar or 50 cents, you're stuck with it. Or you might have like a Amazing Spider-Man number 295 and 296, and then 297, 298, 299, and 300 are gone. And then it picks back up for like 302 or 303. You're missing that big hunk of like keys there. So they were there originally because obviously the guy had a whole run of them, but now they're gone. So you're missing out on that. You have to be careful if you're buying stuff like that, just to make sure that you're getting um, a good bang for your investment. Make sure that you're going to buy stuff that you could offload. Make sure you could actually buy stuff that you could actually resell for a profit, that sells, that is not going to sit in like a storage unit for you for months and months on end, just gathering dust instead of gathering assets for your collecting company. You know, another way is to try to get the legendary going to an old lady's house and buy their collection. You see this a lot on like the YouTube videos. There are moral implications on this. Just by the general principle of like trying to get a profit, you're going to try to get that collection for as low as possible. And if you have like say an older lady who has a whole bunch of golden age comic books in pretty good condition that were handed down from her father to her or her husband to her, and she's just trying to get to make like ends meet to get like a little something to help with making the grocery bill every month. You could probably give them a couple $1,000s for a whole set that includes like a whole line of all-star comic runs, but yet darn well it's worth a whole heck of a lot more than that. You have to judge your moral implications about that. Like are you really taking advantage of it if you're giving them the money that they need, or are you try to make that into your try to put that into your mind? I would. This is one of the reasons I don't do this kind of thing, because I wouldn't do that. Because if I saw an old lady who's in need, I remember my parents. My parents, when they're older and they were in need, and they had me to help them. And if this woman doesn't have somebody like me to help them in the back there, and they need to sell their, you know, Detective Comics number 27 just to be able to afford their medicine that they need to survive, I would not feel at all comfortable taking that money from them. I would, if I came across it, most likely I'd try to facilitate them going to an auction house and try to get the most money that they possibly can back for it. So most of the money goes to them and not into my pocket. That's just me. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there have the same similar kind of stuff, but it's kind of like you have to figure out how far are you willing to go down the morality pathway to actually get that kind of like good collection that you want. Like I said, I'm not really an investor. I don't really collect comic books for investment. I have a whole bunch that I could possibly sell, but like I, like it's all a bunch of like filler stuff. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that. But I'm not really into like buying like a cheap version of you know Hulk 181 and cleaning up. I'll be doing a subject. The next one after this will probably be topic on a cleaning and restoring and pressing comic books. But I'm not kind of like the person to actually talk about like really being a big investment person. I'm not really that big of an investment guy. But I do know from I buy comic books off of investment guys. So and I do watch the YouTube videos of these guys, so I have a general idea of what goes on. Basically, if you're looking for investment, people mostly look for first appearances or number ones, or characters appearing, uh, either a first appearance or a important crossover or something like that, something that they are kind of rare and you don't find that often. So like it's kind of like you're trying to get that. You're trying like to also like a big way of trying, especially nowadays with all the comic book movies, is trying to get the first appearance of comic book characters that are appearing on screen for the first time. The problem with this, once you figure out like which character is appearing in which movie, it might already be too late because the film might be already out and all the other collectors have already scarfed up the comic books. So you're not getting it at a value price anymore. You can get the jacked up price that you get for having um, a movie come out with these characters. Um, so my suggestion would be, and this is my off the wall kind of oddball kind of way to collecting. If you want to like have like a little get a jump on all the rest of the collectors out there, this is where I recommend you focusing your money on. Um, Number one, if you're looking for purely investment purposes, especially from the aspect of keeping and holding on for a long period of time and then selling like later on, along down the road when you need it, I recommend just going to stuff that's already keys, that's already valuable. You're going to, the reason behind this is, it's already worth money. It's going to be worth money. It's going to hold its money. People 20 years from now are still going to want the first appearance of Wolverine. They're still going to need the first appearance of the Punisher. All the keys that are really expensive on the back of the wall of a convention booth or a comic book shop is still going to be valuable later on. And if anything, it's only going to go up in price and value. If you want to do something for that, just take it, sit on it, and relax. And it might not go like shoot up like you would if you got like a 10-cent book that you could resell for thousands of dollars, but you should be able to make your money back plus some if you just hold on to it for a little while. Another one I would say is like a lot of the things that go to first issues. But if you're going to focus on first issues, my recommendation would be going to the independent world for first issues, especially Image on down. Most independent books usually have low print runs, and if something catches fire, like say The Walking Dead, which is the number one, I think I only had 3,000 copies made. So getting the first print of that it will set you back in near mint condition $1.2 thousand. That's not bad for a book I think that cost like maybe $3 when it came out. but that's how you see this all the time, like with image books. Chew was another one the first issue is going for $200. Saga is also going for $200. Invincible, which is very popular now because it has the Amazon cartoon thing. The first issue of that's going for 1.1K. Lock and Key, which had I think a Netflix show, is first issue is going for $150. The latest one now is that's very popular is the Mark Spears Monsters, and their various variants. This just recently came out. I think there's only been 4 issues out, but the first issues are going for like over $100, like $150, some cases more, just because it's so popular and the print run is so low. It's so hard to get it. There is even a lower one, like from a company called Olympian, Cursed Pirate Girl, which is going for over $1,000 for its first issue. You would never even know to pick that up, but because it's such a low print run and it has some demand, it's going for that amount. So if you're looking for like if you're looking for any number ones, I would stay away from you could get the Marvel and DC all you want. Usually you could find any number one that came out with the last couple of years into a dollar band if you want to. But if you want to look for something to make a return on your investment, and like I said, some of these are $4 books that are being sold for $200, and you might say like, well, that's not a lot. It's nothing to sneeze at, one, and two, you have possibility of it breaking out to being like a $1,000 book. So that would be my attitude. Like, go for Image and any of the other ones that have number ones. If you see it like it has a pretty good concept, you think that might work well as a TV show or a movie, and it's a lot of guesswork. Like I'm saying, and I should say this to begin with, none of this advice I'm giving you is going to be dead solid perfect. There's no guarantees attached to this. If you buy every single number one from the back half of the previews catalog every month, and you don't make any money on it, I hold no responsibility for that. This is all a crapshoot. A lot of stuff is like this. Like, you don't never really know. Sometimes you do have an idea that stuff is going to come out big. Sometimes you don't, but it's kind of hard to like figure it out. So you're taking a chance on this, and this is things that you have a better chance on. So, that's my caveat on this. I should have said that at the beginning, but I'm saying it now, and now it's legally binding. But yeah, if you're going for that for returning investment, go for like the number ones from the smaller publishers. Also, another thing to look out for is final issues, especially of long-running series. Now these are not exactly are not going to set the world on fire. They might go for like 30, 40, $50 in the back issue market, but when the book is like about like $2, so it might not be that return of investment, but I've noticed a lot, especially in series, and because I'm dealing with trying to buy these back issues now. Series I gave up buying or collecting, and they are now costing $50, $60 for last issues. Reason why is it gets closer to being canceled. Like, oh, the print run keeps on going down and going down and going down. Less of the comic books are out there to be bought, and as a result, they become rarer and rarer, and rarity equals to being more and more expensive. So that's another way to actually go through that. Another one is like if you're trying to trying to catch on the next like Marvel Zeitgeist, find out the character who's going to appear in a comic book, movie, or TV show, and buying their first appearances just to see, so get on ahead of the curve. Basically, I would the other thing I could recommend for you guys, like maybe go to the Marvel character Wikipedia page and look through it and try to look for some that might have had their own series, own comic book series that have not appeared in like the comic book films yet. Like say for Marvel, like right off the top of my head, pretty much anybody who's appeared in the new Warriors series, Night Thrasher, Namrita, Firestar might be a good one to pick up. Speedball. These all are pretty big characters. They've appeared in numerous of series over the span of like the last 40 years, but they have not made the jump to the big screen yet. Will they ever make a Speedball movie? Probably not. Will he appear as a background character in some other movie? Maybe. But if he does or he doesn't, at least if you get his first appearance, you have his first appearance. So if it does in fact actually become valuable, you have it already. You don't have to like chase after it to run it down. And that would be my idea for that, because like even like a character like Nova, who's also a part of the new Warriors, some of his first appearances are starting to go up because he's rumored to have his own Disney Plus show. Where this will actually pan out or whatever, I don't know yet, but people are still speculating on that. So that is my approach to actually collecting for an investment. Yeah, and you also have to be smart about it. Also, don't spend any money that you can't afford to lose. It's because a lot of it's like a gamble. It's not like, you know, putting your money into gold and the gold standard will always rise and you're guaranteed to like make your money back and then some. Um, you might buy a whole bunch of like copies of Captain Fluffy #1 because everybody's talking about, oh wow, this character Captain Fluffy, he seems really cool, and then nothing happens about it, and you have hundreds of 100 copies of Captain Fluffy #1 that you can't even get $1 for. But then again, you know, it might be adapted for a AMC TV series, and then all of a sudden those 100 copies of Captain Fluffy you bought for $2 a piece now are going to get you $2,000 a piece. You never know, but it's a crapshoot. It's a gamble. It's kind of like playing the stock market, or probably even better analogy is playing the slot machines or playing the games a chance at in Vegas. Could you win big? Yes. Could you lose everything? Yes. But more often than like you probably get like a small return on your money if you're lucky. Um, if you have any other ideas like this, if anybody else who does this for a living who might be more skilled with the whole talking about comic books for investment and wants to give more advice and stuff, leave stuff in the comments and we can start a conversation about that. If I might start a second video, and I'll credit you in that. If you like this Girlfriend's Guide to Comics, I have a whole bunch on the site. I have a whole playlist devoted to all of them to tell you everything from comic grading to like how to tell which volumes are which and all kinds of stuff like that. So you might want to check those out. And also, if you uh, like this, share this stuff like this, and like hit the like button and subscribe. Subscribing doesn't cost a thing, but it helps so much with the algorithm. It also lets me know exactly what you like and what you want to see more of, so I could kind of cater the site to you. So that's all I have to say about this right now. Uh, until next time, keep on collecting.